Hey everyone, it's Crazy Horse 6. We are in the final faction battle of Season 4. This is Invasion on server 756. And you can see here, jumping right into it, I've already got the tactics card set up. Already got my 150 million plus food and iron ready for healing. And if you could notice, we're sitting on double speed today, so this doesn't take, an hour and a half, hour and 50 minutes to get through, because it was a long battle. But if you saw right from the very beginning, final faction battles, they're set up they're a little bit differently now than they used to be. So only 3 cannons now instead of 4, and then each server can either hit their assigned cannon or the capital. We had the northwest cannon here. We were going up against server 762. However, interestingly, found out this afterwards. 756 as the lead server, the faction leader, and the home server, they can go into any of the cannons, any of the 3 cannons or the capital. And the way they had this set up is they paired us with Elite. Elite was set up to also be assigned the Northwest Cannon. They're the second most powerful alliance on 756, and grown their whale he's a unit. So I'll take that as a compliment that they felt like they needed Elite's help to hold this cannon, and they would have. Like, we don't want to spoil anything, but if they would have just been 762, we would have been a menace. We would have held that cannon and then started bouncing around a lot faster to help out other cannons at the capital. This was a little bit of work to get these guys dislodged. You can see I've been sending my main while I've been sending my gathering squad to go ash bases without any squads on the wall. Was able to dislodge Midnight Gravedigger. He was here. You saw his kill count had crept up over 45, 50 squads. My main was able to knock him out after he'd been weakened up quite a bit, and then I think I won 2 defensive battles before I got knocked back out again. But Grown, you can see him here. He's just absolute warrior holding this down. And then we're just trying to hold the cannon and then send out some of their squads to try to clear out some of these elite bases around the cannon, give us some more room in the mud, and then just make it a little bit harder for them to hold. So you see the corner that I jumped into, just a little bit northwest of the cannon, it had gotten pretty cleared out. So now I'm starting to work my way down into the southwest portion. I'm not going to bother with Grown. He was sending 1 squad at a time to the cannon. Usually his first or second squad. All the rest of his squads were on his wall, and there was nothing that anyone could do to him short of rallying him. We felt, look, it's probably easier just to deal with him in the cannon, and we can just continue clearing out space in the mud, and we'll just win with pure numbers alone versus trying to go toe to toe with his squads. We could burn a lot of troops trying to ash him and get him out of the mud, but then he's going to jump right back in or back to where we started. So you can see we're just trying to clear space out. Going through a lot of stamina here. I started out the season with probably, I want to say it was like 400, 500 of the 50 stamina packs. And you can see here I'm down to, less than 10. And I'm going to have to, buy some more before the end of this battle, which is painful. So you can see I'm sending, I've got my third squad going to the cannon. I've got my second squad coming around and giving people taps. And generally, if I saw that they didn't have any troops on the wall, I would send my gathering squad to go finish them off. My gathering squad, I think, is sitting around 43, 44 million. My first squad at 68, 69 million is a great defensive squad for most circumstances. The my second squad, I think, is sitting around 55, 56 million. And so I've found that for the most part, I can ash most people. I can knock out a lot of troops with just my second squad, leave my first squad on the wall. If I run into, resistance where, my second squad might have won but loses a lot of troops, once my second squad gets back, I'll send my first back out. If my first is out, I like to keep my second and fourth squad on the wall. My fourth squad being my tanks, which I think are sitting around 51, 52 here. So I try to keep that balance. If my main squad is out, I've got air and tanks sitting on the wall. If my air is out, I can send my tanks out as well. So it just gives you, and my gathering squad. So it gives me a little bit more versatility when my main is sitting at home. But this helps me significantly. This helps me rack up a lot of kills using this method. There's no point in using my main squad or my second squad to ash bases that don't have any troops on the wall. So as soon as I see a base that doesn't have any troops on the wall, I will I'll send my gathering squad after them and then move on to other bases with my attacking squads. You can see Gravedigger jumped back in here again, helping out Grown. They cleared out, and those guys are dangerous. Between the two of them, they can clear out 100 garrisons from that cannon in about, 10 hits, which is only 5 hits per squad for each of them. So that this is what ended up happening is we thought we were good. We thought, okay, we got 100 garrisons deep in this cannon. We'll be able to hold this for a while, and then the two of them would tag team it, and we'd be cleared out, and then we'd have to re-garrison the whole thing again. But this happened over and over again, where Grown would clear us out, Gravedigger would come in and help clear us out, and then once their attention turned to something else, we are right back in. You see now we just hit 100 garrisons again in that cannon. So just having a hard time. And I think if I had zoomed out a little bit, you could see we had pretty much taken over the entire northwest side of the mud. There were still a few red bases between our cannon and the capital. But you see, as soon as they poured in, I'm sending one of my squads to come attack. You see the capital's going well, but right now the other faction still has it. 799 and 769 were fighting furiously for this cannon. It was pretty lopsided at this point. You can see the other faction, the red faction, which is our enemy. They were holding that cannon really well, and they had it pretty well surrounded. We've got our cannon pretty well surrounded, and we're getting to the point now where I think I'm getting pretty close to jumping over to the capital. I think I'm gonna ash this Fanu base. Take some troops from him real quick, if I remember correctly. And then I think pretty soon I'm going to jump into the capital. You see I'm trying to find a spot down a little bit closer to the Capitol. It's still pretty well surrounded, and I was able to sneak into a spot down here. I wish I could have gotten a little bit closer to a lot of red bases, but was able to slip in next to this base, take care of him pretty quickly, and then I can start shifting my focus now on trying to clear out all the bases that were directly around the Capitol. It's been the theme of, I think, this battle is jump into the middle of a sea of red, clear it out, and then move on to another spot. And here I'm now starting to chip away at the bases bordering the Capitol. Now, best I'll give it to them. They did a good job here of, once one of their bases got ashed, securing the teleport spot so that they could jump back in to those spots. But at a certain point, I think Cody ended up jumping in here. I think this is after I already jumped in right bordering the Capitol. I think Cody jumped in as well. And then we just opened up the entire left side. Just methodically working my way down. Granted, you can see this one was a little bit different now. He decided he didn't want anything to do with that. He just flew away. You can see I'm actually using my main here. One, that's out of respect for Best. I know that they do have some pretty strong players, and so I had to send my main anyway. The main, it's probably a good 30-45 second march from my base to the edge of the Capitol there. And so, if I had discovered a base that didn't have any troops on the wall, it's going to take me, 30 seconds to get my gathering squad over there. And then the nature of those bases surrounding the Capitol, they're sending their squads to hit the Capitol, and then they're coming back. What I was worried about is I hit the base with my main, no troops in the wall. I send my gathering squad after it. I start working on other bases with my main. By the time my gathering squad hits, they've got their main squad back on the wall. It's gotten back from the Capitol, and then my gathering squad comes back burning. I've lost 2,700 troops with no benefit. So you can see, like, typically where I use my gathering squad the most is when I jump into a sea of red, find a base. It's only a 10-second march for my gathering squad, and a lot of times, if they don't see it coming in time, if they just see their screens flashing red, but if they have the time to look which squad is coming at me and they see my Monica and my Violet coming at them, they're like, okay, I'm going to throw a squad on the wall and let this bounce off. The longer you give them to react like that, the more likely it is they'll put even one of their crappier squads, will still tend to bounce my $40 to $43 million power gathering squad. So that's why I let my main continue to just work its way down this side of the Capitol there. We got some nice battle reports there. And I think here pretty soon is when I'll have cleared out enough of the side of the Capitol. At some point here in this battle, a spot opens up real close to the Capitol. I was able to jump in and hold that spot. the good thing here, where I was located, was pretty central. Even though I'm still a little bit closer to the northwest cannon. I can reach bases that were also attacking the southwest cannon, and as well as hit bases that were attacking or garrisoning the capital. So you kind of had a pretty decent central location that I could zoom out. It might be a little bit too fast to see in this sped up video, but you'd see every once in a while I would zoom out, kind of look at where the red concentrations are, and then send a squad towards the most concentrated area. Sometimes that was supporting our northwest cannon. Sometimes that was starting to help 799 support their cannon, and sometimes that was clearing out bases that were directly attacking the capital. Yeah, we got our northwest cannon pretty well situated there. We feel good about that. Still a lot of red around the capital, around the 799, the southwest cannon. Oh. Okay, you saw that was the last of my stamina. So I got 246 left until I need to replenish. You can see when I zoom out, there really isn't a lot of bases around me anymore. Kind of like it that way, gives me more reaction time. I do have somebody marching. Oh no, I guess they went away. I had someone marching on me. That's the nice part about ashing the bases that are closest to you, is it does give you a little bit more reaction time. When somebody decides they do want to come at you, you tend to see them from a little bit further away. Moving back in here to try to clear out more around the capital. LDK did a good job. I think they had tasked some of their lower level bases to work on clearing rubble and creating teleport spots to hold. And so you can see that's what they were doing. But I was still able to slip in there a little bit closer, get in the middle of some red bases. And you can see as soon as I jumped in, coming after me. That's all right. This guy didn't have any troops on his wall, so my gathering squad took care of him. Until he did put troops on his wall. But he's got almost dead, so I'll just send out my main. And there he goes. You see Foxy there doing some work. One of the annoying things. Oh, there's Cody right below me. He and I started fighting over. Gosh, that guy's so fast. One of the annoying things, and maybe the developers can fix this, is you go to hit the Alliance help button, you know, the clasped hands, but if that goes away before you hit it, you end up hitting the crossed swords instead, and then your screen flashes to, you know, whatever, you know, rally or whatever's happening at the time, which is not a great gameplay experience when you're in a rush and you're trying to, you know, seconds and milliseconds matter, and you gotta click back out of a screen. So you see between me and Cody, we if I zoomed out a little bit, you would see it, but there's only a couple. And you see I'm now working on this base right here, but really, like, there's not a whole lot of red left on this left side of the capital. So this is good foreshadowing here. Midnight Gravedigger, he's a great player, and I'll give him a lot of credit. He doesn't shy away from a fight, and he knows where his impact is most felt. I've played with some whales that they're just focused on getting their kill count up, and so they can take a lot more kills by focusing on much weaker players and finding them with 3 squads on the wall, getting 9,000 kills per hit. But that doesn't really help out the faction or the alliance as much. When he comes after me, he can usually take out. He'll burn through all 3 of my squads on the wall if they're on there. He'll get his 8,000 kills, but on his follow-up attack, I usually win. So he can only really get me once before he has to bring his squad back, recharge troops. And here you can see, I did not realize that diamonds here escalated when you started buying, and all of a sudden I realized I'd spent, I don't know, 10, 15, 20,000 diamonds on stamina. And yeah, I got 400 stamina now, but that was expensive. Expensive lesson. I just started clicking and didn't realize how quickly I think it basically doubles every time you buy more stamina. Anyway, going back to Gravedigger. So he's sacrificing number of kills by coming after guys like Cody or me, because he can only hit us once before he has to go back and recharge his troops. Otherwise, he's going to come away burning on the second shot. But he knows that he can make a bigger influence in the battle by hitting us versus, hitting a bunch of, level 30, 31, 32s. And he does that. He seeks out the bases that are going to make the most impact. And so every single trade post war, every single spice war, if I'm there on the battlefield, I'll typically find, Gravedigger sending a squad at me and trying to, disrupt my plans. So, kudos to him. He's a really unselfish player. You see we got our cannon pretty well surrounded by blue. Groan is really the lone red base there. Still working on it. We've got the entire northwest side of the capital surrounded by blue. We've got a few little holdout bases here and there we're taking care of. Trying to get my march a little bit faster by using mines instead of marching at a base. So we can try to clear out the rest of these red holdouts here in the northwest corner of the capital. Given that my stamina was getting kind of low, I am going to do what I actually just said was kind of selfish, but I figure the best use of my stamina at this point is let's try to drain some drill grounds so that people can't send marches. And given how little stamina that I had left, how much I'd gone through already, it wasn't really worth my time or my stamina to burn bases that didn't have any troops on the wall. So here you can see I was really seeking out bases that had troops, and I figure, hey, if I can overwhelm their hospitals, drain their drill grounds, it'll be that much less time before they can come back. Not a bad hit on Ryder. Ryder's one of the stronger ones in best, so I was using protectors for him until I could determine that his main wasn't on the wall. You see it's starting to clear out a little bit more here. People are either running out of troops, running out of stamina. So it's not quite as chaotic as it was at the beginning of the battle, making it a little bit easier to move around. Checking the battle report for Ryder to see if I can send back just my main or if I need to send a protector march at him. Hit him with my main or without protectors. Got a few good hits here. I'm sending my third squad now at the capital. You see we got that cannon pretty well locked down. I guess I forgot. I got it crossed up. We had the red flag. So it was a red flag that somebody hit me. Can't remember. Oh, it was I think it was a Breck base. Nothing to worry about there. Oh, now you see Gravediggers coming at me, and I'm just going to avoid that. I needed a chance to heal up, check my battle reports, renew my protectors, and then I was actually looking for a new spot anyway. So I used the free teleport here because I hadn't used one the entire time. I think I'd gotten 20 advanced teleports for the day before. And it burnt through just about all of them the previous day. I think I only had a couple left. I'm trying to limp into the Season 4 celebration without having to go through too many more. I gotta start stashing back up. I think I started Season 4 with probably 25 or 30 at least, and burnt through a lot of those. So jumping back in here with a free teleport. Didn't really like this spot. I'm surrounded by a lot of blue here, but I just saw it and I wanted to get back into the fight as quickly as possible. So the march times were a little bit slower from this particular spot than I would have liked, but it was an easy way of avoiding Gravedigger. And then immediately jump in here and start hitting some nearby bases. You can see the area around me clears out pretty quick. I think I only had one more teleport left that I used in this battle, and that was to go help 799 with their cannon. They just had a lot of red bases to the north of their cannon. And so I think pretty soon here you can see me jump into a middle of a bunch of red bases and just start trying to soften that up, reduce the number of commanders who can march at that cannon. sending my tank squad with protectors towards the cannon. I think Slingshot beat the Ash this space before I could get to it, so I had to shift gears. Yeah, shout out. 10 kill streak, Ash that base. And I think Major got this one before I could get there. Oh no, he didn't. Bounced off it. I think I finished it off. Yep. My tank squad's coming back. Burning, so Groan must have hit the cannon again. You see I'm pretty low on protectors. Didn't make as many in this battle as I thought I was going to. I had the medical aid as well, and I don't think my hospitals ever got up over maybe 40% in this battle. I think that's one of the things about working in the mud is the pace is just slower, and you can kind of keep up with your hospitals a little bit better. As long as you don't have a monster, you know, clearing you out and hitting you 2 or 3 times in a row, taking, you know, 9,000 troops at a time. I think I'm starting to get a little bit overconfident here. Starting to send my main squad out with only 50% troops to hit bases. Oh no, I did. I recognized it and just had them return. You see here, I'm just hunting for kills. Let's see where I can make the most impact. Hit 2 bases there without any kills. Nothing. Come back to this one. So it's like I'll just send my my main at the cannon. I know I'll be able to get. It'll make an impact there. You see, Groan just cleared out our garrison again. We're filling it back up pretty quickly. That's rough. Like I said, Groan as a unit. Oh, that base had just... I was trying to get to it before he could ash Lucky. He ashed her, but I got him back. You see, there it is again. Trying to hit the help button and hitting the the war button instead and having that screen pop up. That's annoying. Down to 91 total stamina. Trying to be more conservative here, but I think I'm going to run out pretty soon. Not a lot of troops on walls around here. Here we go. That was when I zoomed out and realized there was way too much blue around me. I feel like I need to find another spot in the middle of a sea of red to try to push that somehow. I think I saw that howitzer base though and thought maybe I could help out clearing that guy out, and then I think it's pretty soon here I start looking for another base of operations. Hilarious world chat trolling there. I wasn't paying too much attention to world chat, but somebody on the voice Discord pointed out that someone was telling 756 to hit their world bosses or rampage bosses now for the rewards. It's A+ level trolling there. You see at this point, Groan has moved somewhere else. I'm not sure where he went, but he wasn't holding down the side of that. And you can see the tides have switched here. This is where I recognize that 799 has started to lose to 769 on that cannon. We've got that cannon really well. Like 742 had that cannon locked down. We have our cannon locked down, especially with Groan not there anymore. We've got the capital. Got 80 plus garrisons, and is about to switch to our control. And so here's where I just jump in. I'm like, hey, let's jump right in the middle of a bunch of red here and see if we can turn the tide and help 799 with their cannon. And this is where I ran out of stamina. And I'm like, I'm not gonna make the same mistake and buy it with a bunch of diamonds. I was telling the Discord chat, and they're like, "Well, just go garrison something. That doesn't take any stamina. 5,000 diamonds for 100 stamina there. That's not a great deal." Um, I was like, "Shoot, I can't buy it in the diamond store. Already bought it out in the VIP store. So only thing left to do is come down to the weekly deal. $10 for how much is that? 500, I think." And so I'm like, look, this is $40 worth of stamina. That was 2,000 stamina. If I ran out of that, then that was it. And I was using it a lot more conservatively down here as well. If I didn't see, if I didn't get any kills from hitting a base, then it was time to move on to another base. That was how I was going to make the most impact here on my, limited resources that I had. But you can already see how quickly, I suppose it's kind of comes with the territory. As soon as I jumped in, a few bases just jumped out. You can see the empty spots already above and below me, and that's where people decided they just wanted to leave. Checking my kill count real quick as well. Alright, if you notice video skipping ahead a little bit here, quick bathroom break, and then for some reason A&H decided to attack me. I don't know why, but that seemed to be an issue with A&H for this whole season. Just couldn't seem to recognize who were faction allies and who was not, and we had them interfering with trade post captures, and oh well. Didn't hurt me. I think they went back burning. And I just continued ashing bases around their cannon to help them out. You always know that you're, oh, look. So I jumped in the middle of a bunch of red bases, and there's not many red bases left around me. You always know when you're getting close to the bottom of somebody's drill grounds, when you start seeing a number of kills dwindling every time you hit them, until you get down to less than 100 kills, and you know that they're getting pretty low. Who was about to hit me? Oh, yeah, it's not going to work out so hot. Not sure why someone would waste teleport to come in and hit me and then bounce away. So you can see we had the capital, we were securing that, and then we had the northwest cannon and the east cannon pretty well locked down. The only question was whether we were going to get the southwest cannon in time before the capital was finished. There's another one with the the declining number of kills per hit. Started out over 2,000 and ended up down around 400. So you know his hospitals were full, his drill grounds were getting emptier and emptier. Just trying to find somebody with some troops. Almost got control of the capital at this point. That's it. You can see as soon as the squad speeds up on the way back, that is when you know that it's over. We're going to have some notifications here pretty soon. You see lots of diamonds. I didn't bother mining any, but you can come in here and see we ended up controlling all 3 cannons before we secured the capital. That was it.